Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, and I still go.
Stagnation, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Hey, your boy Double O. Pew, pew.
Double O.
Yes, champion.
Mr. William Suberg wrote an article on Cointelegraph. And it says, will the Fed prevent Bitcoin price from reaching 28K? Five things to know in Bitcoin this week. Now, Bitcoin prepares for what promises to be a tense week of rate hikes, earnings, and more as Bitcoin fails to reclaim crucial trend line. I saw that, man. I had put a trend line on the chart as well. But then we had this bullish continuation channel situation going on, and I put a, you know, but right now it's it's falling below that trend line. So I agree with him there.
Yeah.
But I think the whole premise and the whole point here is this fact that obviously Bitcoin has been treated like tech, and
Yeah,
so
the tech stock, I say.
yeah, they've been treated like a tech stock, and so the idea is with the Feds increasing the rates as they are planning to, right? We're going to see Bitcoin drop furthermore. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, yes and no, right? Is it going to stop from
Mm,
dropping 20K for now at this moment in time?
right?
Maybe, right? But instead of me just running my mouth, let's just look at the numbers. Let's look at some
Yeah, let's look at
historic
some
data, right?
numbers, man. Yeah, I'm always down with some numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers are my
So
jam.
let's see that there. All right. Do I zoom in, or how do you want to do this?
No, I think that looks pretty good. Let's just go full screen on that one. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So let's just look at the history of Bitcoin. I know this chart for Bitcoin is stopping at 29K, which is perfectly fine. But we just want to look at some historic data to see if there's any relevance to what everyone is talking about now.
Mm,
When the Feds increase interest rate, what happens to Bitcoin? When they do reduce the interest rate, what happens to Bitcoin? And as we all know, the increase and decrease of the interest rate impacts the value of the dollar over time, which again also we'll see the impact of this in the inflationary rates,
yeah.
right? So let's take a look here at the price of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was brought into place after the old 2008 financial mess, which we don't have here in the Binance chart. This is the Binance chart for Bitcoin, the orange line, right? The Feds were increasing their interest rate at the time. And while they were increasing their interest rate, you could see the constant increases of Bitcoin to the point that Bitcoin went to 16,000 at some point. This is with all the drama going on in the Bitcoin space at the time. We had exchanges getting shut down at this period as well. We have some regulatory issues. We had China going on at the same time. But at the same time, as they were increasing interest rates, Bitcoin fell and popped several times. This is in
Yeah.
2008. When they decreased interest rates, you had points of where Bitcoin went up and went down, and Bitcoin went up and kept going down.
Yeah.
So this tells us that is there really a relevance going on here because it doesn't seem to correlate as much. The entire time when the interest rate was flat at almost at zero, Bitcoin was going up tremendously,
Right.
right? Even to the
This is
point
true.
that there were times when the interest rate stayed flat and Bitcoin still fell down, right? So
That
with the
is a
price of
very good
Bitcoin,
point. What would they say happened there? What correlation do they see there where the interest rate is literally flat and Bitcoin is falling and then picks up again and starts falling before they even actually start increasing the rates?
yeah, and I think this goes back to the old conversations that you and I keep talking about the print of Ford. You know, this is the manipulation that we have in the stock markets. We were
Yeah.
talking about that in one of our videos a while back about being able to change the color of a font from red to green because they want to. So
Right.
the amount of media fraud that you create out there could just the event of the
Mhm.
fraud or just an event could move a stock price up or down. Just events
Right.
only. And they're trying to bring that into the Bitcoin space as well. But what we see here is that Bitcoin seems to react based on what's going on in its own space. But now you're
Mhm.
trying to bring the additional macroeconomics of what's going on around the world into Bitcoin. And the
Right.
Feds is just the US. We know the ECB is increasing the interest rates as well.
Mhm.
So those two situations, for those that do not understand Bitcoin, Yeah, they might sell or get out of the space, or maybe they're trading it. But those that eventually still understand Bitcoin will continue to hold the price up at a certain level. And now we've seen the fight at 29K. We currently see the battle again at 20K. If you understand Bitcoin, you accumulate. You don't let all this fraud bother you. If you don't understand, you get involved in all the trading in and trading out. And I think that's kind of what I see here. I don't see the relevance or the correlation.
Yeah. So this is my view on it, and maybe possibly my strategy as well. Let's go with their narrative, right? Where the Fed has this impact on Bitcoin. Cool. Well, if we look at history, and it goes back to the same thing you were saying, we have seen that historically, when the Feds start hiking these rates and hiking these rates, it gets to a point where they can no longer hike the rates, and then they turn to quantitative easing. And when quantitative easing comes through, right, everything starts running up. So it sounds to
Yeah.
me like all the Feds are doing is affording us an opportunity to buy Bitcoin for a discount, because there's two things we know for sure: they'll hike interest rates and things will crash, right? And at some point they will stop hiking these interest rates and start printing money, and they're actually printing money right now, right? And things will start running up. So
Let me show you that in the
it
chat real
seems
quick.
like it's a matter of time before Bitcoin keeps taking off. Then, so
Yeah,
I don't know what is the relevance of this. I carry on.
I agree with you there. So look at the RSI, right? This is the relative strength, right? RSI is really good for investing, by the way. If you don't know how to use RSI, learn how to use RSI. So let's look at Bitcoin and RSI. This is the RSI here. Even the Feds know when they've over increased the interest rate, because each time they over increase the interest rate to almost 100 RSI over here, they've been forced to bring it back down. And the moment they start bringing it back down, each time, Bitcoin has gone up. So right now, they're about to over increase the interest rates. So given these current levels, they're probably going to increase the interest rate to a maximum of 2.5 or 2.7%. And they'll have no choice than to bring interest rate back down again. And this might be when Bitcoin start blowing up again. Just thought I should
Yeah,
mention that.
definitely. Well, I think the moral of this story is that Bitcoin will be back.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to
no matter
say.
what.
All right.
Yeah. So
Hey, it is what it is. Look, I don't think that it is anything major that we've not seen before. Plus, if they keep increasing these rates, right, there is a point in time where mathematically Bitcoin cannot keep going down.
yep.
It's just, you know what I mean? Um, this is the whole point of that self custody, right? Having your wealth, protecting your wealth from this exact same thing, the Feds, right? A bunch of people, swinging interest rates around. So at that point in time, when they can no longer affect the price of Bitcoin, right? I think the only people who will be suffering at that point are people in the fiat system, where they can increase interest rates and inflation will affect the value of your money sitting in your bank account. When push comes to shove, they can freeze your account, etc., etc., to make sure that they get their economy back to where it's supposed to be.
We'll see what's going on
Right.
in Argentina. We'll see what's going on in China. We'll see what's going on in Canada. So don't be
Exactly.
surprised when it happens
It's
here.
happening all around us, man. If anyone is not
Yeah.
seeing it, man, that's on them. They might not make it.
Yeah.
Anyway, final thoughts before we close this one out, sir.
It's been a wonderful show. Get your Bitcoin off the exchanges so that you don't have to worry about interest rates
Yeah,
going up.
exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, subscribe. Until next time, Brazen out.
Double O.